The Taliban in Afghanistan became an official government after the defeat of the Russians. And at that time, Afghanistan was the major theater, corridor in the world for drugs. 61% of all of the heroin of the world was produced between Afghanistan and China. And the Russian gangsters, criminals, were the ones that controlled this industry. The North, the Northern Alliance, who themselves were related to the Russian gangsters, who were mostly Muslims who had adopted socialism, atheism, who themselves were criminals. They wanted to continue the enterprise of drugs after the Russians moved out. They wanted to continue the industry of prostitution, gambling, all of this here. And the Muslims said, no, we won't continue that. We want to establish Islam. One of the groups that were insisting upon the Quran and the Sunnah were called the students. In the Arabic language, the students is Talib or Taliban. And on one occasion, those atheists, socialists, communist Afghanis, those criminal Afghanis, they entered some villages and they raped the women. And those students, they sought to get a fatwa from their shuyukh. What should we do about these Muslims who did this act? Those scholars said they should be punished. They are criminals, and the hukum is to find them and kill them as criminals. Those students then took their weapons and gathered themselves together as a group and called themselves the Taliban, and they began to seek the honor of those women who were raped. And they went from village to village, town to town, until in a 2-year period of time, they conquered all of Afghanistan. 2 years. They conquered all of Afghanistan. They were not sophisticated in their knowledge. They did not have universities. They did not have institutions. Even in most of Afghanistan, there was not a standing hospital. But they established what they called the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. The only standing Islamic emirate in the world at that time. Yes, they were ragtag. They were not sophisticated. But they had honor and love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inside their hearts. From a point of honor, from a point of morality, a point of dignity and decency, from a point of Sharia, they could not support and allow drug trafficking to exist in Afghanistan. So what did they do? They began to punish those who held drugs, those who sold drugs, and they began to imprison those that used drugs. Then they gave an option to the farmers who were the growers of poppies in Afghanistan, the major crops for drugs, isn't it? They told them, we will give you the land where you are growing the poppies. You take the land, but you must grow another crop. You must grow a different crop. But if you don't grow another crop, then we will bury you on that land. A year and a half, the drug trafficking and the growing of drugs and the manufacturing of drugs in Afghanistan was 3%. And they went from village to village, town to town, until in a 2-year period of time, they conquered all of Afghanistan. 2 years. They conquered all of Afghanistan, but they established what they called the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. The only standing Islamic Emirate in the world at that time. Yes, they were ragtag. They were not sophisticated, but they had honor and love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inside their hearts.